Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of LFC Transfer Room YouTube stream. I'm Richie, and I'll be joined today by Matty, Colin, and Dean as we look at Liverpool's first chance at silverware ahead of the Carabao Cup Final. It is Liverpool versus Chelsea. It is the match preview. Matty, are the nerves starting to kick in yet?
Nah, I don't get nervous. I think we beat them, even with a depleted side. I think we beat them. I think we've got proven winners running through the side. Really, we're very good at Wembley. We travel very well to Wembley as well. As long as the R ends like it should be, like it was against Luton, then I think we'd be sound.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal atmosphere against Luton, especially in that second half. If the travelling cop can rouse that atmosphere again and create, almost that cauldron of fire inside Wembley, I'm sure that, Klopp and the lads will be very happy. Dean, how are you feeling ahead of tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm not as confident just because if it's a final, anything could go wrong, anything could go right. It's just on the day. I still back the lads to win it, but a roller coaster of emotions, and it's still another just under 24 hours to go. I'm sure it'll be fine when the game kicks off, but I'm looking forward to it. I just want it to happen now. I don't like waiting around for it, but like I say, I'm backing the lads and ready to go.
Yeah, so my plan was to run a half marathon in the morning just to take my mind off it. And then I just hate waiting. I can't stand it. I can't stand the wait all day. I get more and more nervous the more I think about it. Colin, how are you? Do you side more with Matty, who's always calm? He's always calm as personified. Do you like the rest of us and Dean, where nerves are starting to creep in?
No, I'm a ball of nerves. I just am not. I just can't believe that your solution to that is like, I'm gonna go run a half marathon. I'll see you guys later. That's like extra stress to me. I'm like, no, yeah. I mean, I'm not nervous because I'm scared of them. Really, I'm just nervous because I want to win. I just want to win so bad because there's, we're not guaranteed any other finals. We're not, nothing else is promised, and want to make sure that we put in the performance that we all know that we can. And the boys who are going to play tomorrow certainly can do it, but just as, you just don't want to lose.
No, and it's Chelsea as well. Liverpool and Chelsea do have a rich history. And, we'll go into a bit of the stats and the recent head-to-heads, but it just feels like it's one that, you just don't want to lose. Which is the same as any final, obviously, but because it's Chelsea, I do think it has that little bit more edge. Yeah. Let's talk about Caoimhin Kelleher for a little bit, because obviously he's set to retain his place in the starting lineup. We found that Alisson isn't going to be back until after the international break. So all eyes on Kelleher. He's made 15 starts this season to Alisson's 24 across all competitions, and he's recorded a save percentage of 66.7%. Alisson's save percentage is 75.3%. And, I still think, and again, I'm sure that you guys will have an opinion on this. For me, Kelleher is the best number 2 in the league. And a save percentage, he saves just over 2/3 of his shots faced. Still not bad for a substitute goalkeeper. Looking at those stats, it's not just on 3-4 games, it is 15. So there is quite a good, good depth of data there to have a look at. I mean, Matty, do you think Kelleher starting in goal is as bad as what some people make out it to be?
Not for tomorrow, no, because I sort of accepted it. And even the Luton game, I think he would have probably started him, not Alisson, just so we had a bit of match practice in and be going into the final, really. But my worry with Kelleher is that cities before the international break, and that's my only worry with him, to be honest. I'd sort of accepted that he was playing tomorrow. I think it's his competition. Who are we to say that he shouldn't play in it when last year, I'm sure it was the year before, sorry, I'm sure didn't he score his penalty as well? And then
he did.
So he earned the right, to be fair to him. He played very well in that final. And he's played very well this year leading up to the final, so he deserves to play the final. You can't take that away from the lad. Like, imagine doing that to your number 2. You get us there, and then Alisson comes in. So tomorrow, I'm not one bit worried. I think he'll be fine. It's something we knew he'd be playing. It's just more the length of Alisson's injury that scares me. Just because the Forest game, not that bothered. it's just that City game. Like it's really scares me if we've got Kelleher in goal against Haaland, to be fair.
Well, Haaland, he had two good chances today, and Neto did well to save them both. I think Kelleher still makes those saves as well. Only 3 teams have ever won the competition without keeping a single clean sheet. Liverpool have obviously not kept a clean sheet during this competition. West Brom in 1966, Birmingham in 2011, and Man City in 2016. So we could be the 4th team if we do concede tomorrow to be the 4th team without keeping a single clean sheet. Dean, do you think it does play a little bit like, you know, the past cup finals that we've had with Chelsea, and is this a little bit of a dull affair? Is it a bit edgy, and does it end 0-0 and perhaps go to penalties like we've seen quite frequently in the past?
I think there'll be goals in this game, just for the pure fact of we're going up against a manager who likes to be a bit more offensive. I know they played on the counter-attack against Man City a week or so ago. But I think under Tuchel, because it was Tuchel both times, wasn't it, when we took him on in both finals, he's a bit more, I'd say he's better tactically, a bit more regimented, especially in like the final. And he had a better defence overall. Chelsea leaked goals a lot this year. They were lucky to come away with only conceding 1 goal against Man City. They should have conceded at least 2 or 3, thankfully they didn't. But they're also capable of scoring goals. They seem to be scoring a few more now as well. But we're capable of doing both as well. We're more than capable of scoring plenty of goals for us. So I anticipate goals, not necessarily like 5-6, but I definitely think there'll be more than a 0-0 anyway, definitely. It's going to be a bit nervy at first because a final, you always want to feel like your opponents, they don't know how we're going to approach it because of the lack of players. We don't know how they're going to approach it because I feel like more pressure's on them. For the fact of our injury situation. And plus, Pochettino needs this. The 10th, 11th, aren't they, at the moment, something like that. If they come out this season with nothing and still in that 10th position, the scrutiny, already under major scrutiny anyway, but they'll be under immense scrutiny, nothing to fall back on. They can't sit there and go, oh, look, at least we won something. At least we can fall back on that. It's hard to rouse the players towards the end of the season to go, well, at least we did something. But if there's nothing there, it's like, well, I've signed a 9-year contract, so we've gone backwards. So I think they need it more than us, but it could work either way. It could put more pressure on them to get forward and score the goals and fall into our hands, and hopefully that's the case.
Talking about the past history, the Reds have won all 4 of their penalty shootouts against Chelsea. Champions League semi-final in 2007, the UEFA Super Cup in 2019, and then obviously the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup of 2022. Colin, in that defence, you know, is it pretty much as it were against Luton? Or do you think that Robbo perhaps starts from the off? Does Gomez perhaps move to the bench? I can't see Gomez going to the right-hand side unless Bradley makes way for him. But I suppose that the main one is, you know, does Robbo start from the off?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's really going to be the only changes. I think that Ibu will come in and start, and I think Robbo will get the start based on his how he ended that last game. I thought was really, I thought his performance was really good. I thought his energy is always really great, and it seems like he's able to have a better connection with Luis Diaz up on that left side. I think they work very well together. So I think that really realistically are the only changes. I think everything else remains as it was against Luton.
Yeah, it might be harsh actually though on Gomez if he's going to drop to the bench, but I think that perhaps is the one, unless he goes on that right hand side. But Matty, like Conor Bradley's been absolutely sensational. I can't stop waxing lyrical over him since he's come in. You know, to the point where yes, we miss Trent Alexander-Arnold, but nowhere near as much because we've got someone like Conor Bradley to come in. Does he start and do you drop Gomez to the bench?
Yeah, I rate Bradley high enough in his performance, high enough lately to say that we should probably, when Trent's back, put him in midfield. I think Bradley is very, very good. I think he's better than Trent defensively, to be fair. That's no qualm on Trent. Trent should always be further up the field. But I think just because Bradley got brought off against Luton and Gomez played the full 90, he switched to the right back, didn't he, when Robbo came on? So I think by that logic, we will see Bradley start, and Robbo will probably start as well because he got half an hour, so he's just got that bit more match fitness coming on his way back from his injury. So I think we might see Robbo start and Bradley, which I'm not against, to be honest, because Robbo's better inverting than what Bradley is for me. And for some reason, it just didn't work, Gomez and Bradley against Luton, but it did work a few weeks ago. So it's a tough one, but it gives you that bit more stability having Andy Robertson, who's won the lot with Liverpool. He's been there, he's done it at Wembley as well. It just adds that senior figure as well into the defence. And he can invert. And I think we need someone like Robbo, who's more fluid in the system, to be inverting in the final, especially when we've got so many injuries. So he's that figure that you'll probably look at to be the biggest chance creator probably tomorrow if he does start. And I think Gomez hasn't, not that he hasn't got it in his locker. I just think Robbo's done it in more finals. He's played in 3 Champions League finals. He's played in like big crucial games and stuff. So I just think Klopp will go with Robbo for the more seniority within the side, really. And I think Bradley has to start. And he just because he came off against Hull, I think he will start. And for me, he's probably going to play quite a lot towards the end of the season, and I wouldn't be against it. Like I said, he's just feels like he's more of a right back, where Trent and midfield are playing right back naturally. But Bradley's more of a right back for his whole career, so it's a position that he's already honed in. And that's no harm on Trent. I just want Trent in the midfield, really.
Yeah, it's a fair shout, and I think that now Bradley has shown how amazing he can be, and what a player he is. Maybe now it could be the time to trial Trent in midfield. It's certainly a conversation for another day. Dean, Chelsea could make an unwanted piece of history on Sunday, having lost their last 5 major domestic cup finals: the FA Cup in 2020, 2021 and 2022, and the Carabao Cup in 2019 and 2022. No team has ever lost 6 successive major finals in English football history, but does it hinge on the midfield? Because you look at Chelsea's midfield and look at Liverpool's depleted midfield, with Jones out, Szoboszlai only just coming back from injury, Thiago obviously out, Bajcetic out. There are a lot of key players who are out for Liverpool. Do you think that midfield battle with Caicedo or McAllister or Enzo Fernandez or Gravenberch or Elliott, whoever's going to play in there, do you think that's where Chelsea could perhaps win one of the battles on the pitch?
On paper, I think any neutral will turn around and say Chelsea's midfield better on paper, because that's just name-based only. In terms of performances, even it doesn't matter who's been in that midfield for Liverpool, they seem to work together. It seems to turn off. So it is going to be like the most important battle, in all honesty. Enzo Fernandez, okay, he's been a bit hit and miss, but he seems to come a bit into a form recently. Caicedo, I'd be targeting him like anything, loves a yellow card. And then it's all going to be a case of if they go for a 4-3-3 and play Conor Gallagher, or do they play a 4-2-3-1? Do they even try and go as a 10, try and spring us on the counter, that type of thing? If we win the midfield battle, arguably win the game. Man City didn't win that midfield battle in the first half. Even though they dominated possession, they just got caught constantly on the break. Conor Gallagher was very, very good in that game, I'm not going to lie. If we just stay in control of that game and stay in control of the midfield, your back is just to keep scoring, just to create chances and get the goals. Other than that, I don't back their defence to keep us out. I really don't. I think the only worry for us personally is just going to be on the counter-attack. If we're putting Bradley high up and Robertson high up, it's just going to be the pace on the counter with Jackson, Sterling, and then whoever else plays on that right-hand side. So that's definitely going to be the key area for me anyway.
Colin, who'd you start in that Liverpool midfield?
Endo, Gravenberch, and McAllister. I don't think it needs changing. I think their performances warranted their selections here. I actually don't like Elliott really to start in the midfield. I don't mind when he starts out on the wing and then is able to kind of overload by coming inside, and especially if you're going to have Bradley starting, who's going to give you the width on that side. I think that it makes more sense to not have Elliott in the starting 3 of the midfield, and instead to have him up higher on the pitch. I think this is really a game where Gravenberch can be incredibly influential. His size and physicality, paired with his obvious technicality, I thought this past game was maybe one of his best. I thought he was really, really good. Obviously, playing on the Wembley pitch, there's a lot of space to cover. And I think having his physical attributes paired with his technical ability make him a real problem, especially if there is more space to work with in the center of the pitch. So I think it's a big opportunity for him.
Yeah, absolutely. He does have the athleticism, the dynamism in that midfield, but it's just whether or not it can go 90 plus minutes. Because as Ricky quite rightly said, extra time, lack of options on our bench that could, I don't think either team would want extra time with obviously the injuries that they've had. However, the reading's not great because out of Liverpool's 9 previous League Cup final victories, only 2 were achieved inside 90 minutes. That was against Bolton Wanderers in 1995 and Manchester United in 2003. The other 7 required extra time, penalty shootouts, or on one occasion a replay. So, hopefully, I think both sides will obviously not want to be, playing anything further than the 90 plus minutes. Matty, when it comes to Liverpool's attack, then I think we're all pretty set on that midfield 3. I can't really see anybody else coming in unless Salah's fit to start, which I very much doubt he is, and Elliott will retain his place on that right-hand side. Cody Gakpo will probably also start, and he has 4 goals in 5 League Cup games this season. Only Morgan Rogers, who recently left Middlesbrough for Aston Villa, has netted more. The last Liverpool player to score more goals in a single campaign was God himself, Robbie Fowler, in 2001. And obviously we went on to win that against Birmingham City, and he scored 6 in that campaign. How impressed are you by Cody Gakpo? Do you think he goes under the radar a little bit with Nunes, Jota, and recently Diaz coming back into form? And obviously the return of Mo Salah, who is just absolutely incredible anyway. Do you think Gakpo sort of suffers under the radar a little bit?
Yeah, I do. I think in the last few weeks he hasn't been brilliant anyway. I think last year he was unreal, and then he seems to have dipped a bit, and then he's found form again. But the Carabao Cup he's been consistently performing in. So I do think he'll start anyway. I thought if everyone was fit, I think he'd start because it's been a competition that he has got minutes in, to be fair to him, and I like him. I just think he's one of them players who no one will really sing his praises. I think if fans were talking about getting rid of players, say, to generate cash, he'd be one who people put on the lists because he does just do his job, really. He does always seem to crop up, but he's not a star, so he's depth, and this is what we were crying out for years, depth. So even tomorrow, if we are missing your Salahs, your Nunes's, obviously we're going to be missing Jota, I think Gakpo is the perfect depth option anyway that we were crying out for years. So I think he'll do a job. But just want to touch on the midfield. I think Szoboszlai will start. I don't know if you've seen Liverpool put behind the scenes of the media day for the Carabao Cup on their Instagram, and they've put headshots on of loads of players and the gaffer, and then they've just put a random picture on of the ball, and in the background it's Szoboszlai. So I don't know if that's just a little teaser, maybe. He is due back, so I don't know if he might even just throw him in. And if he's in the midfield, then you feel that little bit more confidence having, say, him, McAllister, and Endo. That's a strong midfield, really, and a midfield that Klopp probably, that there was 3 summer signings. They're the midfield he probably wanted. And even going forward, I think Nunes and Salah was mind games. So I think you might see Nunes, Salah, and Gakpo, to be fair, and I think Gakpo will thrive in that because he's got 2 rapid wingers either side of him, so he can hang around on the last man. He doesn't really need to defend much, and then he can just be there. And to be fair, Gakpo's got a bit of pace to bar him as well, anyway. So that's why I'm so confident, Richie. I think that our team on paper is better than Chelsea's. Yeah, you might look at Casado and look at Endo and go, well, Liverpool have bought a 29, 30-year-old from the Bundesliga, from a side that isn't challenging, and Chelsea went and bought one of the biggest prospects. But I'd rather have Endo, to be honest, and that's not even being biased. I think Endo's performances this year warrants probably the only 6 better than him in the league's been probably Rodri.
Yeah, I don't doubt it at all. I think Caicedo has really struggled. He's shown little bits, but Endo took a couple of games, and I think that's fair enough for anybody to take a couple of games. It's a massive step up from Bundesliga up to the Premier League. But Endo has been better this season, like 100 times better. So I completely agree. I think that front three that you just mentioned of Salah, Gakpo, and Nunez, it reminds me of the front three of the Firmino, Mane, and Salah, where Firmino could drop into space and then Mane and Salah use their pace to go inside. Yeah. I think that we've not seen it yet, but I would love to see that as our attack. And that's not anything against Diaz, nothing against Jota at all, but I just think that Gakpo coming deep, exploiting that space, especially with not the paciest of backlines, I think, with Chelsea, but I think that would be a phenomenal attack. But whoever lines up in attack for Liverpool should cause Chelsea some problems. Gakpo actually has 11 goals this season, and he's one of 5 Reds to reach 10 goals in all competitions. Salah has 19, Jota has 14, Nunez has 13, and Diaz has 10. No other team in Europe's top 5 leagues has a quintet of players in double figures. So again, just highlights how great our attack is under Jurgen Klopp. Liverpool have always thrived off great attackers, and these lads, these 5 are absolutely phenomenal as well. Dean, how important is that bench going to be tomorrow? Whether Salah, Diaz, Nunez are coming off it, even Zoboslai or Gravenberch coming off it, Gomez coming off it. If we've now got this depth starting to come back, surely that's massive for Liverpool.
It's monumental, isn't it? Even just before the match, and you're a member of the squad, you've seen that Salah and Nunez are on that bench straight away. You'll feel 10 times better just to have that quality in your side available. Even if it's just to come on for 25 minutes, it's massive. And even if you're a Chelsea player, you're sitting there praying that they're both not going to make it, and then you see that they are on the bench, you think, God's sake, why? It gives everyone a boost. Like I said yesterday on stream, we need this to be a 90-minute game regardless, with or without them lads on the bench. It just will not benefit us whatsoever, especially with games coming up thick and fast. We're playing 120-minute games plus penalties potentially. So if we get to 60-minute mark and we're either 1 down, 0-0, or even winning, to throw on one of them, if not both, or even, as I say, with Szoboszlai potentially as well, it just gives us so many more options. You can drop Elliott into midfield, or like I say, you can just swap one out. It just gives us a plethora more of options, and it's going to be ideal. As much as Jurgen has massive faith in youngsters, and you can't blame him, it hasn't really done him wrong so far, has it? It's just been nice to have them lads available on the bench. As much as Bobby Clark has done all right in our performances, and Jadon Danns did quite well against Luton, to throw Salah or Nunez on in the final, or even potentially start, maybe it'd make you feel a bit better. But still, like I say, whoever's on that bench, whoever starts, or you back them, you got to have belief in the manager and the lads, because they haven't done anything to knock you up to now, have they?
No, and it is great that Liverpool do have that depth, as Matty mentioned. We were for many years without a replacement for Firmino that wasn't Divock Origi, and as much of a cult hero Divock Origi was, he can't do it consistently like Gakpo's done. Over the past 14 months since he's been at the club, 14 months. Colin, again, talking about the bench, would you expect still to see Salah, Nunez, Szoboszlai on that bench, or do you think it comes perhaps a bit too soon?
I think 2 of the 3 will be there. I wonder if Nunez doesn't make it, if Salah does. Just to kind of preserve one of them for the upcoming City match in case something were to reoccur. I honestly, I would expect mostly the youngsters to be the ones to come on. I hope that when they come on, it's to protect the lead and not to try to find a winner. but I guess we'll see. I would love nothing more than all of the injury talk to kind of be head games and to be this kind of back and forth to see, if they're going to make it, but kind of all along we knew that they were going to make it back for it. That'd be great. I guess I'm just not as confident in that.
Well, the Nunes one's a bit of a strange one anyway, because obviously it was subbed off at half time. Didn't see him against Luton, and then we know that Salah was slightly fatigued / little niggle, and then Szoboszlai's working his way back from injury anyway.
Yeah.
Was there anything actually on Nunes that came out, as in what it was?
I've been so back and forth on seeing people say that they think that they know, but like nobody's actually been able to cite anything in particular. And it wasn't something that was like, very apparent during the game. It was like,
No.
that looks like that could have been it, or got stepped on, or it was nothing that was out in the open. So my head's kind of been spinning with the injury circus that we've been on the last 10 days. Anyways, I'm trying to get my head around like, okay, who is actually kind of really long-term injured, or who is like you're just kind of protecting them because we obviously have a massive City game coming up and we have this final, and who are we kind of protecting for minutes to hopefully be able to play during this game and the City game. And it's all very unclear to me, which I guess maybe kind of could lend itself to the idea that Maddie kind of brought up, which is that like maybe this has all kind of been a smokescreen, and we've kind of been, we've known that they were probably going to be healthy, if not for this, then definitely for the City game anyways. That would be great. I would love that.
Pochettino's come out with some very bizarre things over the past couple of days, Matty. Like completely bizarre. Jurgen Klopp could become the third Liverpool manager to win this trophy on more than one occasion. Bob Paisley won 3 League Cups and Gerard Houllier won 2. So Klopp could cement himself in further Liverpool legacy. But the opposition manager this past couple of days talking about, hoping that the referees don't fall in love with Klopp's farewell. That at Anfield it felt like the refereeing decisions were unfair, that Liverpool got more fouls. Actually, they didn't. They both got 16 fouls given each. It's a weird sort of mind. It's not. I wouldn't even count it as a mind game that Pochettino's doing it. I just feel like he's almost giving the refs, oh, listen, can you not be nice to Liverpool? I know Klopp's going, but can you not be biased towards them? It just seems a very bizarre thing to say.
Yeah, I think like Dean said earlier about Poch being under pressure, I think that's literally what it is. I think he's just under pressure and he's worried and he's panicking, because when Liverpool beat Chelsea tomorrow, he's being beaten by a depleted Liverpool side, a side what's missing Alisson, Trent, potentially Salah, Nunes, Jones. Like, it's missing big players. And if he gets beat by that, the question's going to be asked. And I think that's all it is, really. And I think it's just paranoia, like what you were saying in the comments. I think he's just paranoid that Liverpool probably will do one on him. Klopp will do one on him. After he said that, I've seen loads of tweets saying that we're on Chelsea, the team who's had the most VAR decisions in their favour this year. So he sat there chatting garbage, really. Like, to be fair, Liverpool have been, like, VAR always shafts us, it shafts other teams, but there is teams who benefit a lot. But Chelsea are the team that benefits more than anyone in the league. So the fact that he's come out saying, "Oh, like, don't be biased towards Liverpool," is bizarre, because everything's checked by VAR. VAR's ruined footy. Everything is checked. Even like they could be in the next phase of play and they will bring it back. We've seen in the United game the other year, they come back on the pitch to take a penalty, so they will do it. And so if the decisions he believes should have went against Chelsea, then he would have been checked by the referee, the video system referees and stuff. So, and the refs will do anything to fuck Liverpool over, to be fair. Like, we've seen loads of, when they're checking goals, they check every aspect for Liverpool, offsides, handballs, anything. Here's the blade of grass facing the other way, and they'll try and do anything to rule stuff out for Liverpool. So he's just waffling. I think it might be a bit of mind games, try and get in the referees' heads a little bit. But I agree with Carl. I think Liverpool could potentially get Pochettino sacked tomorrow. Because if he loses that, like Dean said earlier, they're sitting like 10th, 11th in the league. I'm sure they're closer to like Everton than they are Liverpool. They would be out, like they've lost this cup. Yeah, I think they're still in the FA Cup, but they just look weak, and they've got all these big earners, big name players. They've already on the borderline of breaching FFP, and then they've got all these massive wages with probably another year without Europe. So it'd be worrying times for Chelsea, and these players can just say, I'm not leaving. Like, look at Lavia. He hasn't played a minute. He's on how much a week for how many years? You can just sit there and go, no. We've seen it with, who was it Drinkwater for Chelsea? He signed for them and just didn't play.
Yeah.
I'll just get paid. So they can do that. So I think that it's troubling times for Chelsea, and I think Poch knows that, and it's just all, I think he's just panicking, genuinely. And Chris Cavani,
and he's just spent so much money, and like I don't know, a Poch for Tottenham, like he did so well, and we've not seen that Pochettino. I don't think, certainly not at Chelsea. I would struggle to think of a player that he's made better as a Chelsea coach, and maybe that's what's getting to him as well. He spent all of this money, and actually, your Caicedos, who would flourish, I think, under the best football managers, aren't. So perhaps he's getting a little bit frustrated there. He spent quite a lot of money on Nicholas Jackson, who can't hit a barn door. I've said that now, you'll score tomorrow. But like that, you can see the frustration boiling over. You know, it's completely bizarre, some of the comments. And I think if he goes in with that mindset tomorrow, I think Jurgen's got him, if I'm completely honest. You know, I just generally think if he goes in, starts moaning, starts getting aggy, his players will see that. They'll get their heads down. It's not exactly the most positive thing to say anyway before a game. So it's very interesting, his comments. Dean, talking about then, we've mentioned the lineups. We've mentioned, you know, the Liverpool attack. We've mentioned everyone who, you know, we potentially could. Is there anyone in Chelsea in their team who could actually do some damage?
I think the obvious one's Cole Palmer, just because he's been the most informed player for them throughout the season. I think he's the only shining light in a really poor side, in all honesty. The only one resembles some concern for me is Nkunku. He's not 100% fit. He keeps coming off the bench. He is just quality. He showed a flash of quality at Anfield. I think they're the only two that you've got to worry about. Sterling will, as always, try to take his chance against us, his former side. But typically we do kind of shut him out. He gets over frustrated and gets subbed off. That tends to be the going rate with him. And then it's like Madueke and Mudryk, very, very, very hit and miss. And then there's Jackson, as you mentioned. I'm not going to even try to jinx it like yourself. Jackson's just Jackson, let's just say. The defence is a bit shaky. Like I said, they had a half decent showing against City. And if you've really been on about that, Gusto, who plays at right back, I think he's half decent. He's better than Reece James, because Reece James is naff in my eyes. But I don't think he's even that good either way. He could have had 2 red cards this season and got away with the VAR decisions we mentioned before. So, like I said, I think it's only Cole Palmer who will try to pull the strings, be the main guy, try to step up in the final. He did it in the Community Shield. Did he do it for City against Arsenal? He scored a wonder goal or something like that. But I know City ended up losing on pens in that one. But other than that, I just think Nkunku, just because he has that quality, even though the team is poor, he's capable of pulling off the odd moments of magic. But if we have the two or three lads fitted off of the bench, we immediately got more danger men on paper. Immediately. I back Diaz and Gakpo to cause more problems than Sterling and Jackson, in my eyes. So, like I say, in a really poor side, we've got a couple of shining lights, and that's about it.
Yeah, and you would probably expect a little bit more for a squad that is over £1 billion assembled. Let's do. I do like doing a little bit of a quiz. We do want to watch the Arsenal game, but I do want to do my favourite round of the quiz, which is the double agents round. And everyone likes it at home. Loads of people put it in the comments every single week how much they love it. So I figured we'd give it a go. And it is Liverpool and Chelsea. There's some great names in here, like absolutely brilliant names in here. So the lads know how to do it. The lads know what it's about. All of you regulars for the Saturday Night Club, you know what it's about as well. What I'm looking for is you have 1 minute to write down or type into the chat, but don't press enter until these lads have said, because they'll cheat, as many players who played for Liverpool and Chelsea as possible. Okay, and your time starts now. So double agents meaning they've played for Liverpool and Chelsea. All right. There's some shocking names in here. Absolutely shocking names in here. There's actually quite a few of them as well. You would have thought. Again, some obvious, but some absolute ones that I didn't know. So yeah, there we go. Liverpool and Chelsea, players who have played for both. Arsenal have just gone 2-0 up, by the way.
That's a joke.
Saka with an assist, Gabriel with a goal, Kai Havertz with the second goal. So Newcastle must be dreadful if Kai Havertz is scoring. Oh yeah, they've got Karius in goal, haven't they? So
Joe Saka's had contributions every week since I took him out.
good. I've kept him in. So in fact, actually, it's gone down as a Botman own goal, which is soul destroying because that means Saka won't get that assist. So
that's brilliant.
Okay, right. Time is up. Matty, how many have you got?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
10. Good score. Dean?
7.
7. Also good score. Colin?
I've got 6.
Okay, so what we'll do then is, Matty, you get to go first. And obviously, with you guys, everyone that is correct, give yourself a tick. Off you go, Matty.
Torres.
Yep.
Sterling.
Yep.
Yossi Benayoun.
Yep.
Nicholas Anelka.
Yep.
Joe Cole.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Glenn Johnson.
Yep.
Not going to butcher his first name, but Zenden.
Bolo. Just go for a Bolo. Zenden. Yeah.
Sturridge.
Yeah.
Victor Moses.
Yep.
And Raul Morales.
Yeah, well done. Good. Excellent work. Dean, Colin, have you got any more to add?
Did you say Benayoun?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it says Benayoun. No, that's it.
Colin?
Did you say Joe Cole?
He did.
Yeah.
And then I have, didn't Dom Solanke play for
He did.
Chelsea
Yes.
initially?
Dom
I've
Solanke,
just
yeah, he did.
from the Solanke there as well. Barini played for Chelsea, didn't he?
He did.
Oh.
That was what I couldn't believe. I looked at it and I was like, what? When did he play?
Yeah, he played for Chelsea. I think it was in his youth.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, Fabio Barini. Did you say Salah?
Oh, God, I've also...
That's mad, isn't it?
I have Salah on my list, but I didn't. I thought that you had put it on. I didn't even consider that you hadn't put it on.
And I seen a clip the other day. Mo Salah celebrated Gerrard's slip. You know, he was on the field of play when Denver Bar scored. It broke me heart. You know.
Dear me. Nick Anelka, Yossi Benny, and Fabio Barini. Alec Chamberlain, not Oxlade-Chamberlain, Joe Cole, Alf Hansen, Tony Haley, Glenn Johnson, Joey Jones, Raul Morales, Victor Moses, Mohamed Salah, Dom Solanke, Nigel Spackman, David Speedle, Raheem Sterling, Sturridge, Torres, and Zenden. That was a good haul, that was. Well done, lads. You did well, apart from all missing Salah. Apart from that, you did very well. Out of all of those, do you know which one actually, I think, really, obviously it's going the other way, really bust me? Not just Torres, obviously, but Raul Morales. I absolutely adored him. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. And then obviously going to Chelsea, I was just,
He was around that time when anyone who scored against them from us, they went on to buy, because they bought him, Benayoun and Torres all within like a few years, and it was all they had scored against them the year before.
Yeah. It's I just remember him going. I'm like, what? Why have you done that? So yeah, there we go. Apart from Torres, where it broke all of our hearts, didn't it? Most goals against Chelsea. Anyone want to take a stab? It's pretty obvious.
Is it Mo?
Is it Mo? Yeah.
No, not Mo.
Because he was trapped for Chelsea. Is it Sturridge? Because he was all right at Chelsea.
Nope.
Not a clue then.
So
Torres?
most goals for Liverpool against Chelsea.
Oh,
Torres.
No, he got 7. Rush, Hunt,
Nice.
Fowler, Torres, and Mane squeezing in there. And then for Chelsea, Drogba, Tamlin, Lampard, Kerry Dixon, and Dickie Spence. So again, like you look at the top 5 Liverpool players, you know all of them. I don't know Chelsea's history that well, but there's not that many recent ones. They don't really have a good time against us. You know, it is what it is. Hopefully that carries on tomorrow. And if it does carry on tomorrow, Liverpool will hold and still do hold or extend their lead over the amount of League Cups won. We win it 9 times tomorrow. Manchester City, I think, have 6. I think they're the closest ones to us. And they've probably been in all the past decade, haven't they, under their ownership. So, yeah. So we'll extend it to 9 titles, hopefully, tomorrow.
It puts us another trophy. It puts us another trophy ahead of United as well.
It does. Are we just 1 ahead or did they equal it?
I think we're 1 ahead. So I know it's only 2 and you can do that in a year, but I don't know. For me, it just adds a bit more breathing room. Stuff like that bothers me. So that's what I see tomorrow as another step away from it'll just wind Fergie up, won't it? Knowing Liverpool are firmly back on that perch.
Well, and Ratcliffe now, since he's basically stole his line, saying he's going to knock us off our pedestal. I was like, I swear someone else said that. So that would be nice, but and especially since Man United aren't winning jack this season, are they? I was waiting for their name to be pulled out of any like European competition, and it wasn't pulled out. And I was like, oh yeah, they finished bottom of their group. That's why.
Shocking.
Rock bottom. Absolutely shocking. But at least they had a good result today against Fulham. So there's always that as well. Right, lads. Predictions then for tomorrow. Your score predictions. But while we wrap up and get on with our evenings, what's your score prediction for tomorrow, Matty? And if you are feeling brave, give us a goal scorer.
3-1. And I reckon it'll be Gakpo, McAllister, and Salah, because I think he will be there on the bench.
Nice. Coming off the bench to bag. Dean?
I'm going to go slightly more pessimistic. I'm going to go 2-1. Diaz was on a mad one the other night. I'm backing to score both of them.
Nice. Good. What was the score? I missed the score bit.
2-1.
2-1. Okay. Colin?
I had 2-1 as well. I think it'll be Diaz, Gakpo, and Cole Palmer will score for Chelsea.
Nice. Good. Okay. I like the 3-1 scoreline. I think I'm going to go 3-1 Liverpool.
The season of 3-1.
Yeah, exactly. We'll go 1 down, like no doubt about it. We'll go 1 down and then bag 3 in the second half. And I think Nunez probably comes off the bench if he's on there. I just think he's made for Wembley, that man. You know, he's already scored, hasn't he? He scored against Manchester City. And I just think he's made.
We just need the fans to travel well. That I think that's key. Like that City game in the FA Cup semi-final 2 years ago. That's what we need tomorrow, because it was bouncing and we were 2-0 up against City in less than half an hour because that crowd was rocking, and it does have an effect. So we just need to travel well. We just need that's massive for us, especially having a depleted side. I think we'll dominate Chelsea if we travel well.
Yeah. Liverpool's players, though, they are so they do run off emotion. You know, you see Elliott banging the badge, you see Nunez doing it. Obviously, Gomez, Van Dijk, Robbo, McAllister said recently today, actually, I think his quotes came about how much he feels settled into the club. He's never felt as quickly settled in a club as what Liverpool have, and you know, Klopp is the most emotional manager I think that has ever walked the earth. So that crowd needs to be behind Liverpool, and that crowd needs to be loud, because these players do thrive off it. You know, I even think that even though Salah always looks cool, he always looks really calm, I still think he absolutely buzzes off that atmosphere. Yeah. So I agree, like 100% agree. Even with Kelleher, you know, getting behind Kelleher early on, giving him a bit in between the sticks. it's just going to be a massive confidence boost, and we need to 100% make sure that we are singing as loudly as no doubt we're booing the anthem tomorrow.
Can't wait.
Right then, lads, thank you very much for joining us. And, it's been a pleasure on the Saturday Night Club again with all of you. And hopefully the next time we all speak will be one more silverware. We'll be updating the Champions Wall and we're putting number 9 on there instead of number 8 underneath the League Cup. Thank you all for joining us. And thank you so much for staying with us. Okay. Enjoy the Arsenal game. They are 2-0 up, but you never know. Anthony Gordon might do us a favour. Karius, he's already made 2 saves tonight. He might make a few more. Maybe not on that last one. Get your hopes up. But thank you all very much for joining us. Take care. Hope you enjoyed tomorrow as much as we plan to. And as always, stay safe. You'll never walk alone. And up the Reds.